happened? What led up to it?
That you can share.
That you can
share. Yeah, so during like in the height of the pandemic, at the end of 2020, my boyfriend at the time and I broke up, and we were like kind of like visiting each other. I was coming back home and back and forth. We ended up getting back together. I ended up getting pregnant, which is crazy. I never wanted kids, y'all, but my son is like, never. But my son is like such a blessing. I love him to death. Thank you. So I ended up getting pregnant, and I'm like, well, I can't raise a child here. I could barely raise myself here. Like, I can't work 3-4 jobs. You know, I can't. So I got pregnant in August, and I moved back home. My lease was up. I moved back home November 1st. That was really hard. At the time, I wasn't doing that much creatively, to be honest with you. I was working at the bar, the Bootleg Hooters. I had stopped doing the virtual interviews because I actually got let go from that because I was late for an interview, and they were like, bye, Felicia. So that sucked.
What interview?
It was a show called like Little Trinkets or something on Netflix, or like all the little trinkets. It was like the cast of that show. And I was home visiting, and I was an MOA, and I had like a plan to like go into the Macy's bathroom, like very ghetto, but go to the Macy's bathroom, have my Wi-Fi set up, whatever, and it just didn't work out, and I was late, and they were pissed. So I was working at the bar. I was a barista, and I was still doing gigs like here and there. Like it's very, once you get in the swing of things and you meet videographers, it's very easy to find gigs, which is so awesome. So I mean, I was definitely still pursuing my dreams, but I was starting to feel a little like, damn, like I'm not doing enough, you know what I mean? But I still would have never come back here. I would have made shit shake.
Let me clarify that.
Yeah, it was a little rough, but it wasn't that. No, but so I got pregnant. I came back in November, and I was like 5 months pregnant when I came back.
Can you talk me through the moment you found out you were pregnant?
Girl, yes. So I am like, I don't know if any, like I'm a Gemini. I'm not a very sensitive person. Like I can count on one hand how many people have seen me cry. That's not my thing. When I tell you I was crying for no apparent reason, I'll never forget, it was end of July. Some of my good friends came to town, shout out to Cyril, and we went to brunch. And, well, first of all, I was working at a bar, and, like, we could drink at work. So, like, I would take shots of tequila and feel sick. Like, one shot, sick. I'm like, like, you know, I'm nearing my upper 20s. Like, liquor is not liquoring the same, but, like, this is weird. So that was the first sign. And then my friends came to town, and I'm like, they're like, let's go to brunch, let's turn up. I'm like, I don't feel good. I took a flu test, I took a COVID test, they were both negative. So I'm like, I'm not feeling it, but I'll come. I remember leaving brunch. Mind you, sleep is life. I've always loved to nap. But it's like noon, and I literally went to my friend's car and napped for 3 hours while they were in brunch turning up. I woke up like, this is weird. So I took 2 pregnancy tests, negative. I'm like, okay.
What?
Negative. That's fuck. Then, like a week later, I don't know what occurred, but I slid down a wall crying. I'm not a slide down the wall. I was like sliding down the wall crying. I literally, as soon as my ass hit the ground, I'm like, you're pregnant. Because what are you, who are you? Like, so then I made an appointment to go take a pregnancy test. It's LA. I live in K-Town. LA healthcare is so fucking whack. Like, to the point of, like, so crazy. So I went to this little bootleg urgent care. I took a pregnancy test, or they took a pregnancy test. Weirdest thing ever. Like, the doctor came back and he's like, so, Shakirah, I don't know if you thought about it, but I think you should keep this child. Congratulations. I'm like, first of all, this is LA, not Oregon.
This ain't Oklahoma.
Right, you're not supposed to talk to me like that. But I'm like, this child, and I instantly burst out in tears, like, freaking out.
No.
And Luda, I thought I never wanted kids.
Yeah.
But I was like crying happy tears. Like I was happy as fuck.
Really?
Girl, I was so elated, and I was confused. You're confused, I'm confused, because I never wanted children. So I instantly called. He was happy as hell. I'm mad I said his name, but
I know.
it was fine. I instantly called. Happy as hell. You know, he's wanted to be a dad since he was like 5 years old. Like that's his thing. I called my friends, some of which aren't my friends anymore. It's fine. But I called my friends, and I was just like, wow. I called my sister, like, you know, just like so fucking happy, shockingly. But then like reality started to set in. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm pregnant. I'm here pursuing my dreams. I've only been here 2.5 years. I'm not ready to go, but like I have to go. So there was a lot of mixed emotions. I was sad, but the happiness outweighed the sadness, which is so weird. Which is what I know that like the reason I didn't want kids was because of my own trauma, and you know. So, like I said, my son was such a big blessing, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy I had him. But yeah, I still did some red carpet interviews. I covered some really dope things, but like I started, packing, staying, coming back to visit for like weeks at a time instead of just, I obviously quit the bar. Manager was like, after you have the baby, come back. I'm like, bro, I'm out of here.
I'm out for real.
But yeah, so then I came back home November 1st, and I was about five and a half months pregnant.
So when you moved back, what was your instant what were you planning to do? Were you planning to try to get something going here, or like I have to?
No, all of that was like stability for this baby. So I quickly got a job for a temp service working in academia, where I still work now for Capella University. So got the job, had a major meltdown like a month after having the job. Like, we don't have to get into that, but like what we talked about before the camera started rolling, like a major meltdown, like didn't want to be here anymore. Didn't know if I wanted to have Egypt. Like, I took a solo trip back to LA because I like literally wanted to die, like 1,000%, like was prepared to die, like 1,000%. And I literally just like, LA is my happy place, the beach is my happy place. I sat on the beach Thanksgiving weekend and like turned my phone off and just like cried and prayed and journaled and came back and was like, I'm gonna have this baby, I'm gonna make this happen. I begged them for my job back, they gave me my job back, and that was a year and a half ago. And
yeah, I'm so happy you took that trip and you found that, because I remember that time, like I think I was still in St. Cloud, and I remember, or somewhere, and I just remember seeing stuff like on social media. I'm pretty sure I reached out, and if I didn't, I'm sorry, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I did, and I remember I was just like, I like genuinely felt so concerned. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
So yeah, I'm so happy to see where you're at now. Yeah, and I think also kind of we don't have to talk about this part, but like your childhood trauma. I think like having a child of your own, you have an opportunity to rewrite your story.
Absolutely.
And like give Egypt the love you already are, but give him the love that you didn't have yourself. And so I'm sorry that you went through that, but it's so cool and dope to see you as like a mom killing it and like
Thanks,
just like
girl.
pouring into him.
Yes, thank you. And it's been amazing. Like, I love that kid so much, and I am like so grateful for him, because I think he's opened up like different sides of me that either I masked or like I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whoa, like before, like my end all be all was like, I want to be on the red carpet, I want to do this. Now it's like I'm pursuing my life coach certificate.
Really?
Because during my pregnancy, once I came back, I was like, I'm gonna live. I'm the first line of business. You need a therapist, you need a life coach. And my life coach changed my fucking life.
Really?
And I'm like, if I could mix journalism with being a life coach, like I want to do TED Talks. Like, I want to speak to the masses. I don't want to just be a red carpet host. I don't want to just talk about Kim Kardashian removing her butt implant. Like, I want more. Like, I want to talk to young women who have been in relationships or have lost a parent or have mommy issues or whatever, like have been homeless. Like, there's so many different things that I can relate to that are so much deeper than what's going on in pop culture.
Real shit.
Yes, and my kid like gave me that awareness, because I'm like, I want to leave a deeper, a less surface level legacy for him. And I want to like truly find my purpose, because like when we make our plans, God laughs. Like, no way my only purpose is to be on the red carpet. I love the red carpet.
That was just your intro.
Yeah. So I think everything happens for a reason. I miss Cali like crazy, but I'm so grateful that
you'll be back.
Yeah. And like we said, even before we walked in your house, which her house is gorgeous, y'all, that like coming back home, like it's like a reset. It's like a whole new city. It's a whole new place. Because I was so busy trying to get out of here that I never took the time to enjoy it.
That was the best way to put it.
It's so and like to be here grown as an adult too, and like be able to get around and be mobile and like look at different. It's just a whole new world, and I appreciate Minneapolis and St. Paul so much more. Right, I got you guys. Minneapolis first, but St. Paul for sure. I appreciate it so much more. So
can you speak more to like how has becoming a mom changed you?
Yeah, so one, like I'm much nicer now. 'Cause, like I have a crazy sense of humor, and I can be I have no filter.
And that's good. That's fun.
It is, but I'm learning, like, just to have more patience with people and to be more considerate of other people's feelings.
Yeah.
I also, like, not to get too deeply into it, but I have, like, crazy mommy issues. My birth mom, never been in my life. I met her for the first time in a grocery store, like, 7 years ago.
Oh, my God.
So, like, and then my stepmom, my stepmom have had a very rocky, like, emotionally, even physically, like, abusive relationship my whole life. But the last 2 years, no, like, babies bring people together. The last 2 years, this woman has transformed to Mother of the Year. Like,
really?
Our relationship that's my girl. Like, our relationship has changed so much. And my son has literally brought us together. But I think being a mom has made me forgive her and my birth mom a lot more. It's made me appreciate my dad, may he rest in peace, so much more, because he made so many sacrifices. He literally saved my life. Like, he was like, this is 1993, not to tell my age, I already did, I said I'm 37. 1993, this man is like a bachelor, a drug dealer, low-key, like, in the streets, and his ex-girlfriend's like, I can't take care of our child because I'm addicted to drugs. And he took me in and, like, was Father of the Year for most of my life, you know? So, like, just makes me appreciate him more, and, like, it just makes me appreciate life more, and I've learned forgiveness more. Like, obviously, the relationship with my child's dad isn't the way that I thought it would be when I was pregnant, right? But, like, that's my homie. Like, I love him as a person, and I forgive him. And I just feel like, it's allowed me to just mature more. Like, people are so right when they say, like, when you have kids, you grow up, you're forced to grow up. And I've grown up in ways that, like, who knows how long it would have taken me to come to terms with certain things, you know?
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Like, that perspective is, like, really refreshing to hear, because I see my best friend KK going through it, also a Gemini, and, like, I see very similar storylines that you guys share, so you guys would probably have a good conversation.
Yeah, we need to have a reunion. This is my first time seeing you in how many years?
Literally,
at least 5.
At least since St. Cloud. Yeah, there's bugs. I don't know where these bugs are coming from.
St. Paul. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. Cut that out. I'm just kidding.
You see how they treat me here? But I've seen her change in so many ways, similar to what you're saying, like stability. Like, she was just like you, like crazy, wild jumping on the tables.
That's my girl. We got videos of putting up in the press.
Oh my god! And that's still her at her core, of course. Like, she's never gonna change that forever, but like her priorities are different. And for me, it's really hard to understand that, because I'm someone who I like to relate to people, and I can't relate to having a kid because I don't have one.
Right.
I want to. I can hear you. I can listen. I can sympathize, but I cannot relate to it. So to see or to hear about that change that happens within you guys, like, I'm excited to experience that myself.
You're gonna be a great mom.
I think I'm gonna be a dope mom, but here's the thing, I don't want kids unless it's with the right person. I'm not somebody who grew up like wanting kids. When I was younger, I was like, I don't want kids.
I feel that. Same.
I want it with the right person. I want a family.
Yeah, I feel that. No, yeah. and you deserve that, and you will get that. I 100% agree, and I thought that my life would look different too, but I have to say, like, and I tell anybody that will listen, he's not the right person for me. He's probably gonna watch this. He thinks otherwise, whatever. But he's not the right person for me. He's a phenomenal father.
That's
like, good. I could not have procreated with a better person. Egypt is set. Like, the way that his parents love Egypt is just, and again, up until I had my son, I did not have family support. I did not have that village. So I was heavily, when I made the decision to stay here and keep my kid, I was heavily relying on his family and him and, like, them to support, you know?
Yeah.
So knowing that was enough for me to be like, okay, I can do this. I can be a great mom. Like, they're an amazing family, and I'm so grateful that Egypt is part of their family.
That makes me so happy, because you don't have to stick with one person. As long as, like, the well-being of the child and you guys are healthy and they see you parenting together and that they're loved, that's more important than anything. Like, people staying together for the benefit of the child, but they hate each other. The child can feel that.
Absolutely.
See that. So
why make the kids suffer?
So co-parenting works well?
It's amazing. You see, I'm here drinking wine on a Thursday night.
Thanks, man.
It's amazing. And, like, all jokes aside, just if there's, like, any, like, I don't know, moms watching, single moms watching. When I was pregnant and I was, like, really going through it, keep bringing up Jan, but that's my girl. My best friend was like, you might have this easier than you think, because you're such a free-spirited person. You love traveling. You're an extrovert to a core. Sometimes women who are in a relationship with a man and they're raising a child, they don't get that space. Even if the man is a hands-on father, you still kind of always have to, you're always in mommy mode still, and then you're in wifey mode. But you being a single mom and having a co-parent that, like, loves his kid to death, 2.5 days a week, I get to do me. Like, Egypt's with his father. Like, I'm not saying like the cheat code is being a single mom.
Right, no.
But I'm so blessed to be able to. I travel. I just went to Florida for 3 days. Like, literally, I get to live my life. I get to, once I start my creative endeavors again, I get to have that space versus, like, my kid is home with me every single night, you know?
You have, like, a break in a sense.
Exactly.
That,
and it's been the bomb.
Yeah.
Because I need that. I'm not a traditional, like, Egypt and I are going to be going on trips together. I'm not a traditional, like, oh, I'm just a mom. Like, no.
And I don't want to be that. Like, I want to, I don't know, explore the world. Like, that's also why I'm waiting so long to have kids. Well, also, I'm not in a relationship, but like, I'm waiting so long because I don't want to have to choose between the two. Like, I have so much life to live still.
Yes.
And it will continue after I have kids.
Yes.
But I don't want any regrets. Like, when I have a kid, I want to have a kid and, like, be able to focus and, like, make that sacrifice.
And you want a partner that can lift you up and allow you to still do you. So I'm just grateful that I don't think, and this is no shade to him at all, but just based off how I am, I don't think if we were still together, I'd be able to have the freedom I have. Because, I mean, even right now, if my sister comes over to, like, help with Egypt, if I can see my kid, I'm still in full mommy mode.
Of course.
Yeah, you're here, you have 2 kids, you're fully capable. I'm gonna still change. I'm gonna still do all the stuff.
Of course.
I have to have that space to be able to focus on myself, or else Egypt is my main focus. You know, and that's just so. Like I'm not saying like everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it like
for
that.
you, that works for you, and that makes me really happy. And I think that literally did happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And so how you kind of spoke to it already, but how do you balance like your personal life, your career, and then Egypt?
Yeah. So for me, it's been tricky because it's one thing to balance like your career and your personal life in Egypt, but there's all these creative endeavors I want to. So I'm honestly, Luda, like Egypt is one, he's 13 months. I'm still trying to find that perfect balance of working my 9 to 5, exploring the creative endeavors, having him, having a social life, because all those things are so important to me. I'm still trying to find it, and I struggle like literally every day. Like I've last time I cried about this was like a month ago because I'm like, I feel like I'm being a great mom, like I'm getting a decent amount of sleep, I've been trying to exercise, I have a job, but I'm not doing enough creatively. And that's what, besides Egypt, that's my second source of like fuel.
Yeah.
I need that. So it's still a struggle trying to figure that out and trying to find that balance, especially like too with like, instead of dating, but like, you know what I mean? Like I have a social life, I have friends, and then that too on top, like it's just a lot to balance that. So I'm still working on it, but I think the biggest thing for me is trying to find ways while I don't want to say stuck, but while I am kind of in a situation where I have to work the 9 to 5, finding creative endeavors in that. It's like recently I got, like I'm a part of my job's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council, and they're letting me like virtually host like seminars and like meetings and stuff now. So I'm still like doing what I love through work. When I don't have I can't just go on a Friday night and like host an event, you know, or I can't have people over all Egypt sleep and interview them. So I've been trying to find other ways to fill my cup. So it's tricky still. And like I'm a Gemini, sometimes I really struggle with like consistency.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, right. I can't tell. But
I really
but yeah,
do.
it's a learning. I'm definitely it's still a learning curve. I'm still trying to balance it. For sure.
From an outside perspective, it looks like you're still doing it. Like
Thank you.
know we're our own hardest and like what is the
harshest critic?
That's the word. Harshest critic. But like from an outside perspective, it literally looks like you're filling your cup from every angle.
Thank you.
I'm sure it doesn't feel that way, but it does. It's perceived that way.
Thank you. I really appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. And then my last question, kind of terms of moving back here, is like, obviously LA is Hollywood. That's the place that you should be, of course. And it's a lot more exciting, a lot more energetic, a lot more opportunities. How has that shift been outside of having Egypt, coming back to the Twin Cities? Because there's opportunity, there's tons of them, but you have to make your own almost.
Yeah. It's been, I don't even want to say it's been difficult. I think what I love is I had done some things here before I moved, and a lot of the endeavors that I had started here, like they're welcoming me back with open arms, and I'm really grateful for that. Like, I don't want to speak too soon, but I just recently got presented an opportunity that I was involved with 5 years ago, and I'm just like so grateful. Like
the one you told me, right?
Yes,
it's gonna be epic.
Yes, like oh my God, y'all didn't forget about me. So like I am grateful, and I am learning, just like we said, like the beauty of the Twin Cities. I'm learning that we do have a big creative space, and there is room for everyone to thrive, and there is a lot that I can get into. It's a little like, I want to say like reverse intimidating, because unfortunately there's this thing, because I lived in LA for 3 years, a lot of, you'd be surprised, even people from like St. Cloud, mutual friends we have, if I see people out, they're like, Miss Hollywood, like, no, this is not, I'm the same person, probably more humble because I lived in a fucking coffin for 5 years.
Y'all
and
even know.
so I feel like it's like the reversed reverse thing where people kind of assume that because I was in LA, because I did have some dope opportunities, that like, one, either I think I'm overqualified, which that's never the case, or two, like, they just assume that I am not interested because I lived in. So that's kind of tricky. Yeah. So that's kind of tricky because I've never been like, I'm not too good for anything, and that's not like what I want people to think of me. So it's been interesting kind of getting back in those rooms. And then like I said, I was out the other day and somebody was like, how long are you in town? Like, I live here. I've lived here for almost 2 years, you know? So just kind of like feel like I have to like reintroduce myself to like the Minnesota scene. And I don't really know how to do that. Like, I tried to go to networking events. I've done a couple gigs here and there, like the Black Business Ball, which you need to get into, girl.
Please, I'll go with you if you go. I'm so, like, I need to do those networking events. I'm so scared to. I don't know why.
You're so up.
I can talk to anyone.
To talk to.
I don't.
Maybe it's just like ripping off the Band-Aid of actually going. I'm gonna start inviting you to stuff.
Please.
But yeah, it's kind of like I just feel like I'm like, allow me to reintroduce myself type of situation.
Yeah.
So it's been tricky, but the opportunities are there. I just need to put that thought aside and like just go for it, which I'm working on.
You are. You could. It's working. It's happening. Y'all, just wait. Just wait.
Thank you. The support. I love it.
I'm your biggest fan.
Stop.
No, I really do. I just love seeing people chase their dreams. Like, it literally makes me so happy when I see other people doing. I'm like, that's what we're put on this earth to do. We're not put on this earth to fucking work in a cubicle.
Yep.
Some people maybe
doesn't care about us. Right. That works for some.
But not for me, not for us, not for girls like us, okay? Like, we need more.
Right. Yeah, definitely need more.
So talk to me about dating.
Ooh.
Are we dating? Are we single? Are we taken? What's happening?
Well, I'm very much single.
Very much.
But I am dating.
Very much.
And it's really cool because I feel like when you watch TV, you watch like women in their upper 20s, early 30s, whatever, like, and they're like getting wined and dined and they're going on dates, but like it's not their boyfriend, but like they're being treated like good, like there's, you know, I've never had that experience. Like, either it was very casual to where like he did not care about me, or he was my boyfriend. So being in that gray area right now, it's interesting, it's new for me, but I love it. Like, I actually really like dating. But yeah, I'm very single. Yeah,
you should be treated like a queen. Like, I love it. Like, first dates, I kill first dates.
I love dates. Like, dating is, like, a lot of people in general, like, they're intimidated by it, or, like, they don't like, I fucking love it.
And it doesn't look cute.
And have great conversation. And it's not even about, like, being wined and dined. It's just, like, getting to know people and having great conversation and building bonds with people. I absolutely love it. So
it's fun. Yeah, it is so much fun. How has dating changed since becoming a mother? Do you look for different things?
Yes, that's a good question. So I really thought that like all my juice would be gone after having a kid, because I feel like, I know for me, when I didn't have a kid, I didn't look twice at men with kids. And I just feel like men sometimes are even more shallow than us. So I just assumed that guys wouldn't be interested, you know?
Oh, because you have a kid.
Yes, I really thought that. You know, it sucks, but I think as a woman in this society, after a certain age, women who don't have kids are kind of looked down upon, and then single mothers are for sure like looked down upon. So I kind of just assumed that I would be out here, you know, lonely. But I feel like I'm attracting a better caliber of men, if anything.
I mean,
if anything,
so far so good.
Yeah. So I really like dads. Not just dads.
Dad bods or just dads?
See, I'm trying not to throw shade. I'm cool on the dad bod in this season. I'm cool on that.
Like, you're no.
I'm not gonna say it's a no, like, because that sounds so bad. No.
It's a no.
No. I think the only body type that I'm like I can't date a man that's skinnier than smaller than me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been there. No shade.
I'm sorry. I'm too thick to lay next to you and feel like I'm gonna snap you.
But like, I'm not opposed to the dad bod. I don't mind any extra fluff. But I can't say too much.
Okay.
What's currently piquing my interest is a dad, but not a dad bod. So I'm just leaving it at that.
We'll leave that here.
But yeah, no, I'm really open. I'm definitely a personality girl. Like, if you can make me laugh, if we have a vibe, I literally could care less what you look like. And that's
you will
always
become hot.
Yeah, exactly. And that has always been my vibe. So yeah, dating is really fun. I do feel like there aren't that many options though, because now that my standards have changed, like, you see guys for what they really are. And I was celibate for 18 months.
That's amazing.
So for me, thank you. So for me, it's like, once you take sex off the table, that changes what type of men want to date you. And a lot of men, they're in it for that. And so that's fine. I've been there before, but because that's off the table for me right away, it changes the caliber of men. So I'm happy with what I got going on right now.
How did you set those boundaries? Because I love that, and I want to implement that into my life as well. How did you set those boundaries with guys, like, early on? And I know it's probably easy, but, like, for some reason that's, like, an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of us to have.
I can understand that. Well, I don't want to say too much because you just don't know who's going to watch this, but the person that comes to mind, I told him right up front, like, before the first date, that I'm celibate. And he was just very respectful of that and never pushed the agenda. And of course, that made me, like, want him more, but never pushed the agenda. And I've been struggling, I think, though, to date other people because that's not always the case with men. Like, a lot of men will say, like, oh, that doesn't bother me, that's fine, but, like, the energy shifts once you... So I'm just like, I'm gonna say it up front. We don't even gotta go on the first date, like, because if me telling you that I'm celibate is a turnoff, or me telling you we're not gonna have sex right away you're not interested, then at least I know that. So yeah, I just say rip off that Band-Aid. Like, it's no different than having a conversation about, like, your exes or, like, your favorite color or what you like, just, and I find that, like, a real man is going to respect you more for that.
1,000,000%.
And in no shape or form am I promoting single motherhood. Again, I gotta be clear. But being pregnant for 9 months and having a child and having to get, like, back used to my body and loving my body, that made it so much easier too. Because a lot of it was just like, I don't want anyone to see me naked right now. And, like, also milk is coming out of my titty. Like, not anymore, but, so, like, those things helped. But also, like, I was single my, like, second half of my pregnancy. So, like, I already wasn't having sex because I was pregnant. So it was just, like, an easy, like, transition, I guess.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I've read and, like, just know from, like, family and stuff that, like, a lot of people after they have a kid, like, their sex drive is either way up or it's gone completely. So mine was gone I thought of something, I was, like, claiming asexual. Because never in my life have I not wanted dick for 18 months. Like, I thought I was ill. Yeah. Like, I thought something was terribly wrong, So, like, I needed that. And I don't know if having my son, so he's been a blessing in more than one way. I don't know if I would have been able to do that or if I would have done that as long or as successfully if I hadn't had Egypt.
And everything happens for a reason, like we said. Was there something after, like, 18 months? Was it a person or was it a feeling? It was a person. Got it. Okay. Anyways, what red flags do you look for outside of the sex?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think because I have a kid now, I mean, at no point was I like, ooh, you're closed-minded, yes. But now I just really, like, I need somebody who is open-minded and not judgmental. So if you, like Juwan, I could never. Sorry, friend. But you know what I mean? Like, and I also, I before would always attract men that came from the two-parent household and were wholesome and, the picket fence, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I find that I sometimes find myself feeling like a burden against people who have never been through anything.
You can't relate.
Exactly.
You got no trauma.
Exactly. And that's crazy to, like, seek out men with trauma, right? But there's something about a man or a person in general who had to get it out the mud or, defied the odds and is doing well for themselves, or has faced adversity. Because bare minimum, I can't be with somebody who hasn't faced adversity, but also, like, I do have a child, and I'm not the type of girl, like, just like I never wanted kids, I'm not, like, if I don't get married, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But if long-term we're going to be in a relationship and you are going to be a third parent to my kid, how can you teach him anything if you've never been through shit? So those are the types of things that I look for. It's a red flag to me if you just come from everything and you've never had to work hard for anything in your life. And then also, like, the love bombing, that scares me.
Used to be cute.
Yeah, it used to be cute. It's not cute anymore. So, right. It's like ignorance is so bliss, because when you realize, like, damn, this isn't it, it sucks. But yeah, so those are probably, like, the biggest red flags for me. Yeah.
I was just thinking about that, the first one you said about, like, not going through adversity. That's not, like, a complete deal breaker, but I definitely would not pursue someone who just didn't, like, who came from a rich family. And that sounds crazy because that's where I aspire to end up. But because I know what it's like to live life without money and work hard for things and not to have things just handed to me and without privilege. I need someone who can relate to me on that. Yeah. And because that's real, that's my experience, that's my life, and I need somebody who can understand me in that way. And yeah, I want someone who's also working towards, I am, but like if you just had everything handed to you,
it don't hit the same.
It doesn't. Trauma bonding, I don't know, but like that's how I feel. Okay, this is my favorite part of the night. This is my favorite category of questions. You have been like digging on yourself all day, but I think the 30s are lit. Like I'm so I swear to God, I've been saying it for like my entire 20s. I cannot wait for my 30s. It's gonna be like the 20s, but on like the next level. Right. You're more sure of yourself. You're hopefully more financially secure. Yes. You have a better vision of what your life is. So what has turning 30 been for you?
Oof, well, it's only been, what's today, Thursday?
It's been like 3 days.
Right, it's been 6 days. I've almost been 30 a week. But, oh my gosh. So I decided, I opted out to have a solo trip for my 30th birthday, my first solo trip, to just reflect. And I've totally needed that. But I think the biggest things that, like, it's taught me so far is, one, that, like, we put too much pressure on time and age as humans, specifically as Americans. And it does not matter how old I am, your dreams are always pursuable, and like there's no end date, Yeah. So that's probably the biggest thing. Another thing is to be sure of myself. I used to, before I had Egypt, I had so much confidence, and I think that I've lost a lot of that because the way that my last relationship ended, and also just being a mom. And it's affected, like, even, just my creative endeavors, because I just have been less sure of myself. So, like, it's where I feel like this new level of confidence, like, girl, you are that bitch. Like, you are that girl. You need to, like, embrace that inside and out. So just, like, I don't know. I just had a chance to, like, reset and refocus in terms of that. And then also just, I've always been a person that I try my best to, like, reflect and show gratitude. Absolutely. But I just feel another level of gratitude. Like, my life there have been so many times where things could have been so bad, And, like, I'm grateful. This is the first time in my life that I've had my own car and my own place. I've never had this in my life.
Like, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. November makes 2 years that I've been in my place. I haven't lived somewhere for 2 years consecutively since I was 19, and I'm 30. Like, except for my apartment in LA, but yeah, I feel like this is the time for, like you said, not only being sure of myself, but like being stable, because things have not been stable for me ever in my adult life, and I like things changing pace, and I like doing new things, and I like mystery, and I like spontaneity, but for the sake of my kid and for the sake of like my mental peace, I need some sort of stability. Home base. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that it's just, it's bringing things full circle, and it's making me more grateful for my life.
Yay! And I'm excited. Like, honestly, the 30s is gonna be the best decade ever. Like, I just truly believe that.
I hear it's the peak in so many different ways. I'll let you know. Yeah, I haven't had sex yet in my 30s. Oh, but I'm gonna let you know.
It's coming though. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm gonna let you know.
So I think, let me do the math. 2013, you were just turning 20. What would you if you could go back to 2013, what would you tell yourself going into your 20s? What advice would you give yourself?
To allow yourself to heal.
Ooh.
10 days, girl, like literally. When I turned 20, I literally applied to St. Cloud State to avoid homelessness. My stepmom had kicked me out. I had nowhere to live. I was living with a
really
friend.
Came full circle.
Man, girl, I was living with a friend, and I'm like, I don't want to live with him, and so I need somewhere to live. So I'm gonna apply to university. So like, I was down bad. The following year, I lost my dad. Like 6 days after my 21st birthday, I lost my dad. So like, so many like hard, rough things happened, and I can honestly say I didn't heal from those things or allow myself to even like face those things until 2020, when I was basically forced to go to therapy. That is when I was like, all right, you're gonna stop running, you're gonna stop avoiding those things. The world went silent, and I had no choice but to like sit in my shit. And that COVID is like one of the best things that ever happened to me. I can honestly say I wouldn't have been as prepared to be a mom today had I not sat in that shit and healed from it. So I would tell my 20-year-old self to allow yourself to heal. I'm so quick to like just slap a Band-Aid on things and like just keep it moving, but that's the recipe for disaster. So yeah, I think I would have avoided a lot of hardships and a lot of bad experiences had I actually just sat and healed in my trauma, like in real time, you know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna get a lot from that right there, because everyone goes through it, but it's really hard to deal with your shit. It's a lot easier to distract yourself. We have 1,002 different distractions available to us every day, and it's a lot easier to just keep it pushing and move forward, but that shit catches up to you.
Absolutely.
It really
does. In one way or another.
So kudos to you for doing the work. It's not easy at all, but look where you are now.
And kudos to you for doing the work.
I think
What's your therapist's name, girl?
Hannah. I love you, Hannah.
Yes, my therapist's name is Sharonda. She's a black woman. She's dope.
I tried.
I missed a week. I'm gonna call you soon. But yes, that's my girl.
I'm gonna be back.
Right.
No, Hannah is not black. I did try to find one, but it's hard. I found a good one, so that's what we're at. Maybe next step, because there's definitely stuff I need to unpack. Being biracial is just it's stuff that I still need to unpack.
Right.
What is something that you're leaving in your 20s?
Ooh, meaningless sex.
Oh, speak more on it.
And let me change that. Unintentional sex.
Unintentional, okay.
Because sometimes you might just want to have casual sex because you want to have sex, but I don't.
Which we support.
Right. But, like, you need to know, I speak for myself, I need to know that that's the reason I'm doing it. Not clear. To, in my 20s, it would be to fill a void. I was filling voids. Like, I would literally feel anxiety, and I'd be like, I think I'm just horny. So I'm going to go get... The anxiety was still there after you know what I mean?
Like, I feel something down here.
Right, and I'm not sure what it is, so let's see if that's
let's fucking figure it out.
Right.
We're back. Camera died, but it made it pretty far, so I'm proud of it. It's getting better.
We're back and better.
Yeah. My last question for you is, what are you most looking forward to going into your 30s? Like, what experiences do you want? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want for your life?
Well, first things first, I want my kid to have the coolest childhood ever.
And he will.
I did not want kids because of how my childhood went. It wasn't all bad, but there were a lot of terrible parts of my childhood. So I just want, like, to give him the world. And I also want to be an unconventional parent. Like, I want to, we might call out of school on a Friday and, like, go to Egypt for the week. Like, I want that. So with that being said, I want crazy financial stability. Like, I want wealth, okay? I don't want to be... I just, like, really want to have money and, like, of my own, and I want to be able to give my kid the world, you know, and give myself the world. I want to gain all my confidence back and then some. I'm embracing, you know, just all these changes, and I really, 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 really want just to, like, just feel 100% sure of myself and feel confident. I feel like I've healed from so much, but now, because of how my last relationship ended, I have a lot of healing to do in that department. So, and healing is not linear. You'll never be fully healed. There's no such thing. But I just want to be the best version of myself. I also want to build a fitness routine. I'm lazy as fuck. I never played sports. I'm lazy as fuck. And, like, I'm 30 now, and my genes, for sure, on my birth mom side are not pretty. So, like, I just want to be, like, no. I don't mean, like, looks. I just mean, you know, they're sick. They have high blood pressure, diabetes, crackheads. Okay. No, you know. So I just want to be in the best shape of my life, and I just want to be healthy because I want to be here for my kid forever, you know. And also, like, I still want to follow my dreams. You know, even it's okay. Like, I've come to the point, I might not be a talk show host, but I want to have a TED Talk. I want to go to conferences and speak to women. I want to speak to the masses. I want my voice to be heard. Like, I want to do that. And I just want to, like, live in my truth every single day. I think I've always been a very unapologetic person, and I am who I am, and I love that for me. But I also feel like I've dimmed my light a little bit sometimes, especially coming back home. I felt like I've had to, like, dim my light to kind of, like, fit in, and, like, that's not the vibes.
Nope, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that. So yeah, I just want to, like, just be me unapologetically with money and be the best mom I could possibly be.
Damn. See, if that's what 30 brings, I can't wait.
We'll see. Let's do a follow-up in a couple of years, girl.
Oh, we will.
Yes.
A few weeks, maybe. But Shaq with the facts. That's about to be your own brand of TED Talk.
I cannot wait.
See it.
I've envisioned it. I've had dreams about it. Like, I already know what blazer I'm wearing on the first. Like,
it's happening,
girl. I'm so excited.
I'm a big manifester. I literally believe it. Like that. You're telling me. I already thought it existed.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening.
And same with you.
Exactly.
Same with you.
Exactly.
Butterfly effect. It's out here.
Yes, sir! Yes. Oh my gosh, in a few years when we look back at these clips, we're going to be like, no fucking way.
Are you serious?
Yeah!
And then we can interview each other, like, on a much larger scale.
Literally in our mansions.
Oh my god.
Yours or mine?
From the comfort of it. No coffins. No coffins.
No
okay?
coffins allowed. You
right,
missed it a little bit?
This is a girl or a boy?
This is a boy.
Okay.
Come on, Zuby Zuby. You're not wanted. Anything you want to plug before we wrap it up?
Not at this moment. I mean, you can for sure follow me on Instagram, Shakirah 2 times. But at this moment, like, no, because there's some big things are on the way. So just look out. But for sure, follow me on Instagram.
And I will promote it. So y'all see it when it does happen, because it's happening soon.
Very soon. I'm very excited.
We did it!
Yay! Oh, this was so great.
I
needed this. Like, best conversation ever.
That's why I was so excited for this, because I was like, I know she's going to have the